Hi, my name is Katie, and today we will be covering lesson 12, which was capstones enhancing the confetti cuisine site with Express.js. So over here, so let's begin with the code. So just close it all. So over here, the main JS. So the code sets up an Express.js web application routing middleware and a template engine like EJS for error handling. So we have the strict mode, use strict at the top. So over there, that enables JavaScript strict syntax, and then we've got the EJS setup that specifies the EJS and the view engine for rendering pages, app.setViewEngine, EJS over here. And then the post configuration, the app will listen to a default port 3000, for example, localhost 3000, and now we're moving on to the middleware. So the JSON passes the JSON payloads with express.json, and the form data passing handles the request URL encoded form submissions with the express URL encoded. I saw it now. Where is it? Over there. And then the static file serves the files like CSS and JavaScript from the public directory. So over here, as we can see, and then the layout is just, it uses the Express EJS layout module as structure for the page layout. So then we're moving on to routes. So the homepage get renders the index.view. Over here, so this just displays the home page. And then we've got over here the courses, app.get courses. So that calls the home controller dot show courses to enter the request. And the contact over there renders a sign up form, and then it processes the form data to the home controller post sign up form, which I will show when I explain that later. And then we've got the error handling. So for page not found, error controller over here. So it will just give us a 4 error, and this will serve us a 500 error, 500 internal server error. And over here, this just listens where the app will be listed. So now I'm going to explain the home controller. So over here in the home controller, the code defines the modules that exports callback functions for handling routes in an Express.js application. So the course object, so it contains an array of course objects where each object has a title and a cost. So the title is in the name of the course. So for example, event driven cakes, and then the cost will be 50 Rand. And then it is used to display the course details. And then we have the exported callback function. So these functions are used by the app to enter specific routes and show courses. So the purpose is it renders the course EJS view, and then it passes the courses array if offered course. And then the data, course titles and course will be displayed on the courses page. And then show sign up. So the purpose, it renders the contact EJS view. Let me just show you where I am explaining over there. So the show sign up, the purpose, it renders the contact EJS, and it displays a form user to sign up. And then the posted sign up form over there, That renders the thanks EJS view from the form submission, and it shows a thank you message for confirming the submission. So let me show you. Sorry, it's in views. Like over here, is a thank you, and then here's the contact, and then here's the courses. And then we've got the error control EJ. So this will just show the HTTP status codes, and it will give an error when handling the server. So let me start the server. As you can see, confetti cuisine. So here's the homepage, here's the courses. Here is the contact. And that is it for lesson 12. So now we will move on to lesson 13. So now we will continue with lesson 13. So here we've got our main.js, and over here the MongoDB integration. So the database connection establishes a connection to a local MongoDB database for recipe DB using the Mongo client, and then it logs an error to the connect if the connection fails. Basically over here, and then the insert document. There, it adds a new contact like name and email to the context collection, and then the fallback logs the result of the error if the operation fails. And then we've got the retrieve document. Um, that finds all the documents in the contact. Um, and it converts them into an array, and then it logs the retrieve context for debugging or verification. And then we've got the route, like routes like name and item fetchable, and utilize the home control functions to process the request based on the user's input. Then we've got the request logging, like the home control log request paths. So over there, um, the middleware logs each incoming request path for the debugging purposes. And then we've got the service configuration, which utilizes the app.listen. So this just listens to where the port will be listed. And now I'm going to explain the controller. So over here, we are using the log request path. So over there, it logs the URL for each incoming request to the console for debugging. And then it logs the request URL using the console.log, and then it calls next to pass the control to the next middleware or route handler. And then we've got the send request param. So the purpose, it handles the get request routes for what the dynamic parameters. So for example, items and vegetables. And in the flow, it retrieves the vegetables parameter from the URL using the request params vegetable, and then it sends a response displaying a message with the parameter value. And I'm going to start the server. Okay, so it's not working, and I have no idea why, but yeah. But that is it for lesson 12 and 13. Thank you for watching.